Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Real Talk with Rodney Grimes, live on Facebook. It's April 27th, 2020. And I must say, even with all that's going on right now with this virus, the corona, COVID-19, I have to say that I feel blessed. And I just try to stay positive and stay focused and keep my vision in the direction of trying to change things while I have this opportunity. So, it was just funny. The other day, I was thinking about some things, and family just kept coming to my mind and to my heart and to my thoughts. And I was thinking about how important family is. And so today, again, sometimes it's hard for me to really say what I want to say because I don't want to sound racial. I don't want it to sound, like I'm going against my own race or against another race. But I call it real talk, so allow me to just speak my emotions and my feelings. And I'm not right all the time. I just try to go by facts. If it's raining outside and somebody called me on the phone and say, man, it ain't raining, but it's raining outside my house, and I'm going to tell them, yo, it's raining. They say, well, it ain't raining over here. It may not be raining over there, but it's raining over here because I know for a fact that as I go outside, that I'm getting wet. So I said that to say that that's how I look at different things. So some of the things I'm going to discuss today, I just got to keep it real. And when it comes to family, that's something that is really important. And most of the time, when you think back with your ancestors and remember how they were doing things, one of the things that we used to do is sit down at the table, and prior to eating, we would pray. We would go to church together. I remember as a child, with all my aunts and my uncles, my grandparents, we pretty much was in church. And one way or another, you was going because grandma would tell her daughters or her sons, make sure they in church. And the family structure meant something. It meant a lot. And it played a big part in how people grew up. We grew up with respect. And if you think about this, which we're going to now talk about what happened in the past, we have to not forget our ancestors and what went on, because that's why we're kind of in the situation we are in today. As far as family is concerned, we lost structure. And we forgot what grandma and granddaddy was teaching us, and the great-grandmothers and great-grandfathers. They went through a struggle to get us in a position to be where we are today. And a lot of that came from them being family, staying together, praying together. They had that bond. And that's important. And it's important more so today than ever. And especially now that we're at home, this is an opportunity for you to be building these bonds with your children, with your grandchildren, and stuff like that. And many of us are guilty of just trying to please them instead of teaching them. And how many of us are really praying with them and reading the Bible with them, and we coming and building that family bond. And that family bond is really, really important because as you move forward, we move into different layers. Like I'll be 60 years old in June. My mom is 89. God bless her for her being at this age, but my mom is the last of all her sisters and brothers, and my grandparents and everything. My mom is the last one. So that means that me and my cousins have stepped in their position, coming, into the play that we're now the elders. We're becoming the elders. Once anything, God forbid, happened to my mom, that's us. We're in that position. But I remember what I learned from my aunts and uncles and how I was brought up to open the door, show respect. We prayed before we ate dinner. We prayed in church, and if when prayer was going on, if we didn't conduct ourselves appropriately, you got popped in the head, and it may not be by your mama, it'd be by one of your aunts or your uncle or your cousins, older ones. So my topic is a family that prays together stays together, you know. And what happens is when you put God in the midst of your bonding. It's like a glue. It pulls you together one way or the other. Not every family is going to have the success of being a real tight-knit family, but it's important. And the reason why I want to stress that so much with me being a Black American, in America we have fallen short of that in many ways. A lot of us are not maintaining family structure. We're not staying in the positions that we're supposed to be in because we were taken out of it. And it was done on purpose to break us down. It was to break us down so that we wouldn't have any stability. If you're wondering why these kids are so out of control, it's because the parents are not praying with the children. They took prayer out of school, and then they done, got it so a lot of them don't even go to Sunday school anymore. I hardly ever hear a lot about kids going to Sunday school. Yeah, you still have it, but it's not as popular as it was back when I was a young young boy growing up. 9, 10, 11 years old, most of us, we knew on Sunday you go to Sunday school, and you had that kind of foundation embedded in you that somehow your family meant something to you. Your cousins. My cousins I grew up with, we grew up like brothers, and my female cousins like sisters. We grew up like brothers and sisters, and that's important. So it's really important that we get to that point. What I do when my grandchildren are around, I love for them to see me pray. I love for them to see me put God in the midst of us. And they know because I do that, when I get stern with them, they don't want to run away. They just kind of get their feelings hurt a little bit, but that's about it, because they know because of me praying with them and showing them that love and that respect to God and to them as well, it builds that family structure. So that's something very, very important. And I also believe that in the family structure, it's a position. I have one baby sister, and I have a few older sisters and an older brother. Now, one of the things I know is that I stay in my place. Now, no disrespect to my baby sister. I didn't say that to say no disrespect. I'm saying I stay in my place because, I know I'm not the oldest. So I feel like when you're the oldest in the family that, you're supposed to set a tone. You're supposed to set a tone. That's male and female. And the younger one, you're supposed to follow their lead. Now, if they're not doing right, then so be it. You got to handle your business. But just the structure of family itself is so important. And so even with me, I respect my oldest siblings. I don't backtalk them or nothing like that. We can have disputes. I'm not going to cuss them out and be all mean. I won't do that because I wasn't raised like that. We was a praying family for real. Even though we had some problems, domestic problems inside the home, but we still was a praying family. We had God in our heart. That's what my mom made sure that she had instilled us, and had that instilled in us, and as well my grandparents as well. And so that, when I was thinking about that the other day, after seeing a lot of my nephews and nieces and everything, I realized that it's a position that we all are supposed to maintain as a family, and we need to do this, and more so the Black families in this country. We need to work on that so bad. I don't want to make nobody feel bad, but I be watching the Hispanics, right? You can get 20 of them and move in one house, right? And I don't know if they are cousins or not, but they sure act like when they all in there. And I don't know what be going on behind the walls, but I can tell you this. I've watched them where, as a family, they help each other move up. They help each other move out. They help each other get a job. They help each other accomplish things. And I've seen that over and over and over in this country. But in the Black American household, half of us can't even stay in a house for more than 2 or 3 hours with each other because we have lost that sense of understanding of our positions, and we're not building that solid glue to keep us connected where we make sure that we're taking care of one another. And so I thought about that the other day, and I said I wanted to have that as a topic because it's important that as a family you stay in your place. And not saying that, you know, as you get an adult you don't know right from wrong, but it's still a position. I have older cousins that when I see them, I'll be 60 years old, but some of them are 70, 65, or whatever the case may be. I got one cousin, just 1 year older than me. I talk to him all the time. I always listen to him. I always respect him. I get mad at him. But I don't never cuss him. I don't never disrespect him. I don't do that because that's not the way I was raised up, because I did come up with my aunts and uncles praying together as a family. We had prayer. It was always in our house one way or the other. And so that was very important. So I do know that the family that prays together will stay together. And I do know that because many times I'll see different people who came up along around my time and a little older than I, we have a sense of respect for one another. We don't have to like each other, but we have that respect, and it's very, very important. So, you know, I just wanted to stress that, you know, we definitely as a family need to start to make sure that we get back and get our children involved so that they can understand their positions, so that when they become the elders, they can help the ones coming up under them. See, if you think about it, we got to remember what our grandfathers and our grandmothers went through and how they did things, because that built character in us. It did. It built character. You know, it made us have to have a certain standard. My family here in the Alexandria, the DMV area, are the Shepherds and Ross from my grandmother and grandfather, okay? And my grandfather, John Shepherd, an amazing, strong black man. And all of his brothers, I saw them to be that. I didn't see them, I saw them to be men of character and men that stood up like men. They walked like men. And most of them that I knew, they were God-fearing men. And that was something that I could be proud of, that I carry with me today. And so I know that seeing them, and my grandfather was a praying man, and I knew my uncles, his brothers, majority of them that I did know, they were praying men too. And so I knew that somehow or another it gave us a sense of pride, a sense of who we are. And my grandmother, who comes from the Ross family, my grandmother was definitely a praying woman and an amazing woman. And when I start to realize some of the family members that from my grandmother's side, I was amazed, because I was like, you know, this is some quality people. These are people who understand structure, because they had that family kind of bond thing. Now, we know it's not a perfect family. We know that. Everybody has issues, but you can work on it. And so that's just my topic today. One of them is, you know, a family that prays together, stay together. Let me see, I'm trying something new. I got a monitor over here, and everybody's name is in green. I see Gwen Pratt, I see Liz, I see Thomas, Bruce Hill. So yeah, okay, Nicole Smith, Anita Watts, Rachel Pope, Boris Dancy, Bernard Jackson, Marie Cheverly, Javier. Oh, okay. Where did I mess that up at? But anyway, let me go on. Kathy McKnight, Bruce Hill, Cheryl Henderson, Cheryl Flemings. Is that it? Oh, okay. All right. So again, let me tell you, family is so important that you do this, and you make sure that you be putting that glue so that your kids are gonna know how to act. Because this is a prime example. We weren't prepared for this COVID-19. We weren't prepared for this. None of us. We weren't prepared for this. And God said that He gonna show you. In the Bible, when you read through the Bible, God tells you of these things, and he's going to let you know when he's trying to get your attention. I believe that that's what is happening right now. He wants us as a people, to start to get back to the old school roots of things, making sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do. So, when I thought about that, and I was saying, man, I got to make sure that I continue. What I did the other day, this is my first time ever doing it. I prayed with my mother. I prayed with my mom. And that, I don't know how she received it, but I was proud that my mother instilled that in me, along with my aunts and my uncles and my grandparents, that they instilled that in me, that when my mom she was having a little low spirit. And I said, Mom, do you mind if I pray with you? She said, I ain't never turned it down no prayer. But that was the first time I ever did it in my whole life. I blessed the food, but I'm talking right out that I prayed with my mom and let her know that I love her, and that I love her with God in my heart, and how much she means to me. And so I'm telling you, with your sisters and brothers, your nieces and nephews, grab them by the hand when you get a chance and pray with them and let them know that God is real and that God lives in you, and that you are setting an example for them, for when they run into trials and tribulations in their life, that they will be able to deal with them, like what is going on right now. I'm telling you, this is not a joke. What's going on right now is a wake-up call for us. And I don't want to jump off track, but I got to stay focused. But something else I want to throw in there. Let me tell you something. Stay home, keep your mask on, and put your gloves on. If you notice that just recently, and this is in the family, you're supposed to be having these conversations. When your kids going outside, make sure that you're praying with them and telling them you love them and that you want them to come back safe. Because they're going out there not wrapping up. They're not doing anything. They're still walking around like it's okay. And we are dying faster than anybody. We didn't start the virus, but it sure jumped on us. And I'm saying this is so important, because if you have these conversations and you're in a position where you're praying together and staying together and communicating with each other, you'll be able to get them to understand that it's important that we take care of one another. Their success is ours, just like our ancestors, the ones that took the beatings. Man, come on. We take so much for granted, but we got to come in. So I don't want to get thrown off track. I got to say this, because they was talking about opening up the hair salons, barbershops, and all that. Okay, let me tell you something. I'm not going nowhere until they open up the golf course. Okay? When they open up the golf course, then I'll start going. Because the golf course, they ain't said nothing about that. And when you go on the golf course, it don't take but 2 or 3 of you to get on there, and y'all be hitting the ball, and y'all don't be standing close to each other anyway. But I ain't hearing nothing about no golf courses open. But we gonna talk about a barbershop and a hair salon and the nails and stuff. Like, come on, hey. When we get in our families and we sit down and think about what's going on and be aware, we'll start talking to one another, and we'll be saying, hold on, where you going? Don't go get your hair cut. Where you going after that? Did you need to get your hair cut? I'll cut it right here. Family, you got to put yourself in a position so that you catch, and we be able to teach each other how to deal with different things and respond to different things without getting caught up in a trap. Now, I hope I didn't go way off, but I had to throw that out there. I wouldn't go nowhere into a golf course. When they say the golf course is open, then you read between the lines. Then I'm going. I'm not going to a barbershop. I'll keep cutting it with a pair of scissors or a razor or whatever. I got some clippers. I'll do what I do. And if I have to, I'll paint my wife's nails for her and do a little the clipping. And for real, believe it or not, my wife is the one that cutting my hair. The other day, one of my barber friends, he said, man, why you looking all tight and doing with that haircut like that? The wife was doing it. That's what I'm talking about. And what's been happening? We've been praying together. We've been locked up in here. I mean, it's been, it's not so much where you can't really go outside, but I know you feel that tension. But take it and reverse it. Take this opportunity to sit down with your children and tell them about your grandparents. Tell them about them. And all you young people, you got to get to a point where you got to find your position so you know about respect, know about moving forward, because one day you're going to be in the position as an elder. And if you don't give respect, you sure won't get it. What you give is what you get. What goes around, come around. And that'll lead me to my next topic, which is going to be family reunions. Why is family reunions so important? Family reunions are so important because you'll know about your history. You'll understand how you got connected. You'll know about your bloodline. You'll know if somebody possibly can give you a kidney. Or you'll know that somebody that you're interested in, that you're not supposed to be interested in them because they're related to you. Family reunions are very, very important. I'm saying that because I keep saying in my mind, I know that this is something that I want to see my family get back to doing. I have my wife's family do a family reunion every year. And it's amazing that I see that love and that structure and how they honor each other in the positions that they have. The nieces and nephews show a certain amount of respect because they know their positions, because of them, that when they come together as a family, they pray together, which make them stay together. You know what I'm saying? It makes them move forward to help them when they're in trouble or somebody needs something. This is what family reunions are necessary, okay? I really believe that. I think that we all should know where we come from, know how we got here, understand where we're going. It's very, very important. So I had to throw that in. That's part of my topic, okay? You know, the family that stay together, they pray together, stay together. And also, the family that stays together will put that family reunion together. And then you'll be able to talk about your family. How many of you really can talk good about your family members? How many really got that kind of relationship? I hope that it's a lot of you that can say, me. I hope that. I have a good family too. I come from a good bloodline. I tell you, whenever I see my cousins, man, I'm telling you right now, I'm like, if it's the bad part, I don't like to see them at a funeral, but when they come in, I don't know what it is, but it's just the way they walk, the way they carry themselves, man. I can tell that they related to me. And the other thing that I say, when it comes down to family, understand this. Get past, you know what, nobody's pure nowhere, okay? You can get past that. Everybody been dipping and dabbing here and there. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about the family structure and you having family reunions and you praying together and you talking about y'all family history, knowing who you are, and where you're supposed to be going and what you're supposed to be doing, it makes all the difference in these young people's lives. Because then they'll start to give you the respect that you're supposed to have. So I would ask you, is your family together? How are you dealing with each other? I would ask you that. How are you dealing with your family? What is it that you're doing? You know, are you putting yourself in a position where you standing up and being what you're supposed to be? A leader? A big brother, a little sister, big sister? If your children don't see you acting like that in your with your siblings, you think that they're going to do that? Well, you know what I told my son told me something the other day that I was very proud that he said. He said, Dad, one of the things that you always instilled in us, and that's with my kids, is that my oldest is responsible for my two youngest that's under him. And I mean that. I want him to, he's the oldest. I'm sorry that burden got put on him, but hey, so as the oldest, make sure that you look after them. And you don't ever put them in a position where they feel like they can't come to you. That's what I told my son. And I when he told me that he lives by that and that he honors that, I was so proud. Because I know as a family that I built something. I put some glue in there. Okay? So that's really, really important. I also I thought about this the other day too. When you talk about family, can you count on your family members? You know, how many of your family members can you call and they won't beat you down because you're struggling? You know what family reunions do? it puts you in a position where people do talk and they say, oh, well, so-and-so, they're not doing that good. It's not for you to look down on them. What it is for you to say, yo, well, we can lend them a hand. That's what the Hispanics in them do. If you go into 7-Elevens, you don't see a mixture of people. 9 out of 10, that's either their wives or their cousins or somebody that's in their culture. That's what happens in this country now. And it's not us that's doing it. And we got to get back to that. I remember back in the day when I was about 13, 14 years old, I grew up in Old Town Alexandria. We got this street called Queen Street. Let me tell you something about family. I could walk up King Street and get my butt in some kind of trouble or whatever, and one of my cousins or one of my elders would see me, correct me, slap me upside the head and send me on my way. And I dare not turn around and say something disrespectful to them because of the family structure. Family is so, so important. Take this opportunity to get with your family members and show them love and respect. Let me welcome some more people here. Tawana, Calvin, Kelly, Lanelle, Albert, that's my cousin. How you doing, Albert? What's that? Danielle, Brenda, and Temple. Okay. I'm telling you, family is really, really important. And remember this, as you set your boundaries in your family, you don't go away from them, because the children that's coming up will follow. The children, the babies, they will see what you're doing as a family. So it's good to have the family reunions. You have to do that so that they can see who is who. They can listen. In my family, we got doctors, lawyers, photographers, singers, dancers, preachers, teachers. I'm trying to tell you, I got a hell of a group of family members. And you know, what I do know is that the reason why a lot of that developed within us is because we had that prayer. We prayed. Now, it's not the way that it should be, because it could be much better, but it ain't as bad as it can be. And I know there's many people out there who are going through some issues. You got to let it go. Let it go. Let it go. You know what's funny? You'll get a family member will drive 3 miles, travel 2 days to come to your funeral, but won't pick up the phone and call you that only take 2 minutes. 2 or 3 minutes. That's crazy. We as black people, man, in this country, and I speak as a black man, you know, I swear, man, I don't have nothing against nobody that don't, you know, that's not being racial against me, okay? I love white people, I love Orientals, I love Hispanics, I love learning their cultures, I love eating their foods, I love living with them, dancing with them, and all that. But as a black man, I have to speak as a black man, because sometimes they don't have no control over how in this country it's been designed for our families to fall apart. By design. Taking our fathers away from us and locking them up. Having the women thinking that they don't need the man and they can teach their boy how to stand up and pee. Mama, you can't teach your son how to stand up and pee. I'm sorry. His father, his brother's supposed to teach him that, his uncle. And as the young ladies, man, you can't teach your daughter that she need to cross her legs and tell her how to do her nails, and that her being such a lady is going to give her so much power in the world when she conduct herself accordingly. Man, you can't tell her, because you don't know what it's like when she come on her period. You don't know what it's like if she get raped. I'm not saying it don't happen to men, but I'm talking, you know, in certain the areas of the female and the male. So when you have that family structure, you're put in a position where it's very, very, very important that you handle your business. And you work on that. And now you got them family members that just want to be buttholes. Love them from a distance, but don't hate them. Feel sorry for them. Pray for them. Remember, the family that pray together stay together? That's real talk. I'm telling you, not all the people in your family are going to love you. Not all of them are going to like what you do. But that's okay. I still love you anyway. Let me see. I got some other people that joined in. Kinko, Kimberly, Troy, and Desi. Welcome. Family is important. And remember, as you get in your position, you remember how you treat your elders as well, because when you get in the position as the elder, you're going to want your young people to treat you a certain way. And that's going to be by example. They're going to see if you disrespecting your mom and dad, then they're going to disrespect you, because they see what you do. If you sitting around cussing and being belligerent and doing drugs and doing all these negative things around them instead of praying and bringing them to church and telling them about being positive. Now, and then understand this. Some young people don't really want to, they don't take the religious level that's the same that we did when we come up, because if you think back with our ancestors, we had to have that religion to keep us from going crazy. It was God that grounded us. Because if not, we'd have tore this country up. So by us having that prayer in the family and having us where we was thinking and being responsible for each other. I am my brother's keeper. That was my big brother. He had to take care of me. I'm his little brother. And my brothers or little brothers, nephews or whatever up under me, I have to take care of them. It's the way it is. It's the way it is. And it's important that we do not lose that. Let's not forget what our ancestors went through. Where they was taking them and selling them, breaking up the families, raping our women, stealing the children. We're supposed to build. Don't let it keep pulling us apart, because that's important. You know? And you got to put yourself where, you know, don't be about yourself and be selfish. If you got a big house and nice cars and you doing good and you got a family member that's not doing so good, pull them aside and talk to them. Don't look at them and try to say, oh, I'm better than you. Because you know what? You can get hit by a bus and can't walk no more. And that one person that you was looking at, that you was looking down on, may be the one that have to wipe your behind. Or come in there and help you. So, as family, know your position. My mother showed us how she took care of our grandparents. My mom used to fix my grandfather's food almost every day. We lived closest to my grandparents, so we had to go around there more than my other cousins. And it wasn't because they didn't want to. It's just that we lived right around the corner. So my mom was the closest. So you don't know how many times I had to run around there and bring my grandfather something to eat. And when my grandmother wanted something done, I had to go right around the corner because I was the closest to get around there. But guess what? By my mother doing that and building that in and showing me that, guess what? My mom does not struggle today. My mother, 89 years old, she ain't got to worry about it. Because what we do as a family, we pray together and we're going to stay together and we move forward together. I'm not saying everything is perfect, but I'm just telling you, I do know that that's what she showed us. And that's what I'm going to do as long as I have a breath in me. And hopefully my kids will see me taking care of my mom and doing the right thing. And then their kids will see them do that for me. And that family structure will just continue to keep moving forward. So I'm just excited about, just knowing that where we are. Welcome Lynn, Beth, and Baskets. Oops. Well, whatever I said made her drop it. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. We're going to get bigger staff and we're going to be able to work it a little better. We're going to be dropping stuff. So that's Bethel, the young lady to do the baskets. How you doing? Yeah, here you go. My wife does not play when it comes to you. She wants me to make sure I talk about your baskets. And I'm hoping that you are teaching someone in your family how to do that, because that's a very serious craft that you have that you're very good at. And as we, as family members, that's what we got to continue to do, is to, show our family members how to move forward. My sons told me when I was talking to them, and my daughter, my biological ones, right? They told me, they said, Dad, the reason why we are the way we are today is because we watched you. They watched me. I was doing photography for years. Okay? They watched me. I was doing showcasing. I was doing artist development. I was doing all that. So, and when they told me, they was like, Dad, you know what? I see where you are, and that's why I do what I do. Miss Rachel Pope, how you doing, young lady?
I am good. How about yourself?
I'm blessed by the best. And now I'm blessed because I'm talking to you. Today. Say that again?
I say I love the subject for today.
Yes, ma'am. And what can you contribute to this subject, please?
Well, the structure of families is very vital for development, from the young to the old, because the young can teach the old can teach the young. But it is very vital, and it's definitely missing in some of the families of today, of that structure. And it's kind of sad to see that, by me going into the school system and seeing the kids who want the attention to be heard, and then to see the people, the parents to pick them up and see the rudeness of the attitudes, cussing the kids out. You don't have to cuss the child out. And the child is living in fear.
Yeah.
And I when I went back to the class, I asked the kids, if you have something you need to discuss, come to me privately. And is it something that the whole group can share together, and we can work with a solution? And it wound up being that way. Some kids living in those neighborhoods that's not safe to walk by themselves. And one little girl said, I walk by myself and I'm scared. And then they said, where you live at? And then they came together and solved that themselves. But we should all have a listening ear and to hear the wisdom that our elders have to say.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to them or what they went through in the past, they would know how to handle the situation we're in today, what's going around in the world. You
remember?
Am I right?
You are. You remember when we was doing the talk show together? My mother was there, and we was listening to my mom, and you started asking her those questions about how she would handle us and those things.
Yes.
Those answers that she gave is from that structure of us listening to our elders and trying to be right. I remember that. I actually watched that not long ago, and it was just amazing. Something else, and I didn't mean to cut you off, so hold your thought.
No, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. My mom told me, this was something that my mother told me about that I know my children couldn't even fathom. My mother told me back when she was probably about 16, 17 years old, she used to have to go stand in a line to get sugar.
Mm-hmm.
To get sugar. And the line, she said she might have to stand in that line for an hour just to get some sugar. But here, in this day and time, we can go right around to 7-Eleven. You can go to CVS. And actually, you can go knock on your neighbor's door and get some across the street. But we don't understand what the elders had to do back then. But when we listen to them and pay attention, it'll help us be prepared for where we are today. Like a situation where we're dealing with this lock-in and this shutdown.
Yes. Like you just mentioned about your mom standing in line yesterday at the dollar store. All I needed was a few little things, and I looked, and there was a line. I said, oh, my goodness, no. Oh, the distance. I said, so why are they outside like this? How many can go in? So the line was too long. me because it was too cold for me to stand out there. And so I went elsewhere. And then I thought about what you just said and said about what they had to do back in the day, stand in line for cheese.
Oh my God! And you know,
cheese, that was good cheese now.
Yeah. What's going to happen is that you're going to find out that our young kids going to talk about this about 10, 15 years from now, where they had to stand outside in a line to go into the 7-Eleven or to the Home Depot or the Walmart.
Yes.
They're going to talk about this. See, a lot of us escape that. Hold on a minute. Don't you go nowhere. Other things may change us. Difference and adaptation are evident. But when it's all said and done, strong families will withstand the test of time. Okay, hold on. Other things may change us. Difference and adaptations are evident. But when it's all said and done, strong families will withstand the test of time. Thank you, Troy. That's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. The structure of us as a family helps us when times are hard, that we're able to come together and withstand these situations. And that's also what's important with having family reunions. So you know different people who have these different areas of knowledge and wisdom that you can go to. Right?
Yes. I remember me, as I spoke with my mom today, because I met a young lady last night online telling me she was my cousin. And I think you and V witnessed that in the comments.
Right.
And so it didn't resonate with me until I spoke with my mom. I was about 3-4 years old when my mom told me about when they kept coming to our house. I didn't remember that. But I definitely remember traveling with my grandmother. You're talking about strong family. And my father was the one, out of all the kids that were selected, the one to help manage the farm with his dad. Pulled out of school, I think at 7th grade, to learn how to nurture the land. And we followed them, because they were sharecroppers, we followed them from Wilson to Nash County. And so we had to learn the wisdom from his parents.
That's what's funny, so that's why you are such a queen to this day, because you are a giving person. You're a hard worker. You have these things that were embedded in you from that wisdom that you received. My wife as well, who was raised by her grandmother, she talks about what her grandmother used to have her do and how she used to have to come in and do her homework. And then after she did her homework, she had to help wash the dishes. And then there was certain things that she had to do prior to going to bed, and they couldn't eat before her grandfather. He had to be at the table. All these things built structure. Yeah, let me tell you. And it's funny that we lose that. And as Troy was saying, that when you have that family that's strong, when they get hard times, that's who you lean on. That's who you lean on, your family. And that's when all that. Also, and you have a little something that's going on with your program as well, don't you?
I sure do. I have an event going on online on Facebook. And speaking about family, this is one of my reasons for doing the Who Am I game. It really was for the children. But, we all have the little child in us. So these adults took over and want to participate. So it's for everybody. It's meant to bring family together during dinner time to guess and figure out who I am after I put all the makeup and the costume on. When I give the storytelling or presenting, some of the key factors of this particular person. So that's what I'll be doing this Thursday at the end of the month from 7 to 9 on my page, Rachel Pope. And we're going to be doing 50-50 raffle, and all the rise at any time. I put their name down. They have conversation with me because I'm developing friendship amongst the people that come in to watch me.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm going to be doing.
Okay, that's so. That's one of the things that I love about you, and the things when you be sharing your skills, that you always get it so that people can be involved some kind of way. So that's really, really good. I'm hoping that everybody is still hanging in there with me and understanding. This is very important. This is serious. Hey, family structure is something that we need to pay attention to, especially now that your grandchildren and your children, they know their position.
Yes,
This is something that I always wanted my children to understand is this. When my grandfather and my grandmother was alive, they didn't come after me. I had to go to them. Okay?
Exactly.
And when I went to them, I had to have a certain amount of respect in their presence, because my mother and my aunts and them wouldn't have me to conduct myself any other way. We never got talked back to. I mean, we didn't talk back to them. We didn't say no. But you said no, you be crippled. Okay? Because and it wasn't where they was abusing you. What they did, they would deal with you accordingly. You are not going to disrespect your elders. And if you want us to have doctors and lawyers and presidents and all these positive people coming out, you're going to have to give them that family structure so that they're going to be able to understand. My friend Faustine and Charles are on, right? Let me call out some other names here. This Tony Curtis, Felicia Dickerson, Vera, that's my cousin. Lorenzo, that's my homeboy. Faustine and Charles, much love. Jai, Bilal, Angela Gomez. Let me tell you something, what I experienced with Charles and Faustine with their grandchildren. When they had them over and they were keeping them, they didn't have them over there just feeding them cookies and cream. They didn't have them over there just playing ball in the yard. They was being very constructive with them. And when I met one of them, he was telling me about some dinosaurs and things and how he was going to try to become a billionaire when he become an older man. And I believe at the time he might have been 7 or 8 years old. And that was what I'm talking about, where we talk about family structure. I watch how they conduct themselves in the presence, and when the grandparents were speaking, they didn't interrupt them. We got kids who walk right in the room, and you be talking, and they'll step right in front of you and say, "Look, I need some water." No, don't say excuse me or nothing.
Yeah.
But that's
go in the other room.
Yes, but that's where we're messing up. That's where we're messing up. So, hey, it's amazing that it's important that we as a people remember, and think about and share with our elders. I've been wanting my mom to have this sit down talk so she could talk about everything she had to go through. Because these girls, my young nieces and even my daughters, they don't know what they had to deal with back in those days. Can you imagine that it wasn't that many police, how many women were abused, taken advantage of, because they didn't have what they have today? But because of the family structure, they were able to withstand it and be able to bounce back and still survive with the same mind.
Survive, yes.
Oh my goodness. We're going crazy.
Let me tell you this. What about when they have the cars and stuff? They had to walk.
Yes, they had to walk.
Home in the dark. And Pat and Joe, as Mama say, ain't nothing wrong with my Pat and Joe. It's going to get me where I need to go. I said, I know that's right. But, 15, 20 miles walking, some more than that, And I wanted to say one of the structures, so when we talk about structure, is that my family, my immediate family, is like 3 siblings, and my mom and dad, that's 5. But the rest of my dad's family, they were huge. We talking about one of my favorite couple is Uncle George and his wife, and they had 16 kids, 8 boys and 8 girls. Okay, living on the farm, they was training them. You talking about structure? Every time when we went to their house, I always was really observant of how the older kids would take it in. It was like a step ladder.
Yeah.
You know, all the girls would go in one part of the house, and all the boys be in the other part of the house. And they had those tubs that you wash in.
Yeah.
And they wash them all the way down to the smallest one and put them in a bed. And then the older ones are the one that take the last down.
Hey,
I saw that structure. It was like watching like high school when they get ready to eat. The older girls is in there with mama.
Yeah.
Preparing the meals while the next in line, the middle ones, setting the tables up and stuff.
That's
but
right.
Who's first to eat is the elders.
That's right. Hold on for a minute.
Don't you sit down first.
Hey,
You
wait.
will get smacked.
Hold on.
You got your little table over in the corner where the little kids go at last.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Rachel, hold on a second. I want to say something. Do you remember this? What happens when grown folks are talking? You remember that?
What?
When you walk in the when you would walk in the room and the elders was in there talking. What happened when you went in there and you didn't say excuse me?
Oh, your tail getting a spanking, and
or you
get put out.
Or somebody, by the time you look, you'll be getting about the floor talking about it.
Eyes look at you, I know that.
But back even then, they didn't even really. I don't want people to think we was getting all beat, like they was really trying to kill us. But they could give you a look. They could give you a look.
They gave you a look with them eyes.
And they know when grown folks are talking, you do not interrupt. You show them respect. Do you remember when your aunt would come in and your aunt you didn't speak and your mama said, "Boy, what's wrong with you?"
Yes.
You didn't see your aunt.
You better come back here and speak.
You better come back here and speak. And you'll go back, "Oh, I'm sorry, how you doing? How your aunt?" All my aunts, I'm going to tell you, they didn't have to look for me. I ran to my aunts. I was one of my aunt's favorites. And my aunts used to love to kiss me. And I couldn't wait till I see them. Because as a little boy, one of my aunts, my aunt Holly, she would always give me a kiss every time she saw me. And I swear, man, that was like giving me $100 bill. It was just the family love, man, that was so powerful. Hold on a minute, I got something else in here. It said absolutely good. It said that's right, absolutely, Angela. You said absolutely you'll get your teeth knocked out. No respect. That back in the day, if you disrespected somebody, that's what happened. You be getting about the floor, and you'll know the next time. And I'm talking about this is your next door neighbor because of the structure of the family itself. Let me see. Parents don't have control of their kids. Kids will call the cops on them.
Oh, that little room.
Yeah, it says
the young kids.
what the old saying. I brought you in this world, and I'll take you out.
Take you out.
How about it, Angela? That was another one. Everybody knew when your mama said that or your father said that to you, hold on. Oh, you disrespected me? I brought you in this world, and I'll take you out. And we knew they weren't playing. It was that family structure. I'm telling you, it is like. It's so much that we got to go back so that we can get on track. Don't let me see. Come give me some. Hey Troy, don't start nothing. I ain't.
I'm seeing it.
Hey, yeah, okay. I'm gonna give you some. Hey, I'm gonna give Troy some sugar. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make sure there's some ants in it. He telling me give him some. But hey, that is so powerful, man. You know what? It is so powerful. What we got to do is just remember, and not lose our focus on where we are.
Yes. Loved it. I love to say that.
Oh. Wait a minute, hold on. I got to correct something. So, when Troy was talking about, he was talking about when your aunts and them would come in and they said, "Come here, boy, and give me some sugar." That's what he was meant. That's what he meant. I loved it. it was such a sense of connection. We lost it. We lost it.
Lost it.
We got to
I
get that back.
When, my mom's mother, and she took me shopping to teach me how to wear the right. She called it the foundation, undergarment for the right outfit, and I was impressed with that, you know. And she took me there. They measured me, and I took it to heart. And then she taught me about the things she used to keep her skin pretty. That's where I gained the knowledge from.
That's right.
And my other grandmother taught me how to use the things in the cabinet and in the garden to have pretty skin. And not only that, how to nurture the land. She was Cherokee. She was a Cherokee, full Cherokee. And her husband was a Blackfoot Indian.
Hey, hold on.
They knew how to make that ground work.
Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Grandparents could be a big influence on manners, and parents need to allow them to do so. You know, Kim, you're right. See, this is where we got to get back to sitting down and talking about what happened in the past, so they'll know what needs to happen in the future. What happened in the past prepared you for tomorrow. See, the grandparents will sit down and tell you about what they had to do. Do you know that most likely, if you brought a child from today between the age of 5 and 10 years old into your house, and you had a regular telephone, you know, one of them rotary phones, they wouldn't know what to do with it.
No, they look at it strange.
They look at it strange. Do you know that we remember when we came up that we didn't have microwaves, they didn't have no CDs, they didn't even have cassettes. I remember when the black and white TV was all we saw. You had to be filthy rich to have a color TV. And here we got kids 5, 6 years old talking about they want a color TV for Christmas, a 65-inch in their room. But they don't know how to say thank you, excuse me, or yes ma'am and yes sir. Do you remember when you used to say yeah? What did you say? Oh no. Hold on. Let me go ahead. It said times have changed, but taking what is that? Oh, okay. Times have changed, but taking slang to the elders. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Yeah. Times have changed, but talking slang to the elders is a form of disrespect. That's something that really makes my skin crawl. Okay. So I see that. That's from Desi. That the way that the people talk to their elders, it's so rude. It's just they're so belligerent to a point that you be looking at them and you wondering how long are they going to live. What is their tomorrow is going to be, because they have no respect for their elders. They don't know how to come in and show them. I mean, I got something that I got to deal with one of my family members, one of my nieces, my great nieces. I'm gonna have to talk to her. I just want to let her know, yo, I love you. I will take a bullet for you. But it's a certain position that you got to maintain. It's an order. It's an order that, because if you don't, what's going to happen is life is going to beat you in a way that it's going to come back and haunt you, and it's going to do something to you dangerous. That's why you need to listen to your elders. You know, we had to remember phone numbers. Come on.
Oh,
Kim,
I was thinking about that today.
Kim, remember? Hey, do you remember when it was a phone booth? It was a phone booth, and you did, and everybody when you go out there even said, make sure you got a dime or a quarter.
You said phone booth.
And you better remember those telephone numbers, because if you didn't, you in trouble. Because you stuck somewhere and can't. You better remember Aunt Lorraine, Aunt Harleen, Aunt Ruth. You won't need. These are my aunts. You won't have to remember their number.
I
Now,
tell you what thing, my mom. Still today, my mom carried this book with phone numbers in it. She still do that.
They said when your parents call you,
I understand
you
why.
bet not an answer. Oh, hey Vera, And that was another one. And believe it or not, this is funny because my wife sometimes, I don't know who she thinks she be talking to. She'll call me and I'll say, what? And she'll say, who you saying what to? You couldn't say that back in the day. You bet not. You going in there. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is why, let me tell you something. What we need to do, let's get back on track. While you got your young kids around, let's get back on track so that we can start teaching them and letting them know. Pull your pants up. Open the door for that young girl. Open that door for your aunt. Open that door for your grandmother. You cross your legs. Don't sit there like you a little boy and you a girl. I don't care. You sit there like a young lady. Don't use that type of language. This is where we got to get back to showing them, our children, and let them know what our ancestors was teaching us. Let me see. Shoot. We didn't have nothing like that coming up back in the day. We played outside in the light until the light came on. You better be home. Kids now, no excuses at all. Hey, now check that out. Hey, Angela, you going back? You going back?
Angela.
Hey, come on now. When we were playing outside, we already knew it's a certain distance you had to be at before the lights, right? You would start gravitating closer to your house when the lights, you start to seeing the sun going down. You already knew. And you'll start to head in that direction. My mother used to say, you better not be coming in here with them street lights on. You better be in that door or you going to get a whooping. And she wasn't playing. And what you could do in the summertime, you could go back because we were such a close-knit family in our communities. What you could do is you could go back outside and play under the street light where they be watching you from the window. You remember that?
Well, I was in the country, so I wasn't in the street light. We had to be back home at 11 o'clock. By midnight, it's the latest.
Well, you know what?
If not, you're gonna get a spanking.
Well, let me tell you something. I enjoy talking about families that pray together, stay together. I enjoy talking about family because family is everything. Let me tell you, to all my family members, I love them. I am doing the best I can to be a better man. And hey, Dewan, my cousin, much love. Kim, if you don't mind, could you give me a phone call? I am interested in having you as a guest because, young lady, you are an amazing woman. And I really would like to have an opportunity to share some of the things that you do for the community. What's that? Ms. Williams, my cousin, who is that? Kendall. Welcome. I love y'all so much, everybody that tuned in. Vera, hey, my mom is getting real strong. Dewan, my mom is good. These are some of my cousins. Rachel, I'll talk to you later on, sweetie. Thank you for calling, baby.
Okay. Take care.
All right. So, hey, remember, it's important. I had wrote myself a couple of notes that I want to go over real quick before I go. It says, I want to show people. What do I do this for? I want to show people that it's a way to make a difference, okay? This is real talk, okay? I can get on here and be talking about all kind of stuff. But what I'm really trying to do is get us at a position where we'll start making a change in our life so that we can be able to be a better example for our tomorrow, okay? For our young people. It's so important. People to people. People to people. Power to power. Positive thinking people. I'm telling you, it's important that we start to get back to where we were. You know, hey, Dewan, you already know, you're my older cousin. I don't know how much older than you are to me, but I see you, I have nothing but love and respect for you. Vera, the same thing. I would never disrespect you. I would want you to look at me and to see that I'm carrying myself and representing our family in a very, very positive and upright way. And that's so important. And we've got to get back to really doing that. Because one of the things that we got to remember that sometimes it's your family members that's going to be the only ones that you're going to have when you're down and out. It be the family members that can help you reach your goals. You know? I know there's a lot of people probably, be talking. What Rodney think he doing? I know what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I'm trying to be a structure in my family. I want my grandchildren to look at me as a positive man. I want my children to look at me and say, damn, Dad, he's trying to do better. He's trying to open doors for other people. It's real talk. People to people, power to power, positive thinking people. I pray and send peace and blessings to everybody. And I ask that you continue to check yourself. Get to know you. Look at what you're doing. All the things that you were doing wrong, straighten it out. Call the people that you need to call. Tell them you love them. Sometimes it's better not to say nothing, just keep it moving. But don't put it where you're going to be looking down on nobody. You never know. They may be the ones that you're looking down on that have to pull you up. You never know. God is good. And in God we trust. And I know if we continue to do that we'll be okay. So I think that I pretty much went through all my little notes. I appreciate my queen. And when I say my queen, Miss Rachel Pope, she is another queen in my life, and I appreciate her so much. She's always giving me something real positive to move forward with. Remember that you want to check in with her, and I think Thursday she has her drawing that's going to go on, so you want to get some of them tickets. This woman got some fantastic stuff that she's an amazing artist. I tell you, you would be surprised at some of the stuff that she'll have. You would just be unbelievable. What was that? Oh, hey, Rachel, if you would you make sure you post it? Let me see. It says, food for thought. The neighbors was the village and a safe haven for children. How many people today can say they know who lives right next door? Come on, Troy. Come on, Troy. That's crazy. I've been living at this location going on now 3 years. And I got a house, I really can't even tell you who in it. It ain't because I don't want to know, but I'm saying that down the street, some of the people, I don't even know their names. It's different. It's different. Mike, he says, stay safe, brother. Nice. Hey, what's up, Mike? How you doing, my brother? I appreciate you, man. Mad love. I send you nothing but love and respect, man. Nothing but love and respect. I just thank everybody that's been tuning in, and please share. Please share and like. I love the comments. Comments, man. People, you don't know that your comments help other people. They read them. Go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and have some of the people. Let me tell you something. What I do know is this. Ellen, I can handle my business on a talk show. Oprah, I watched you long enough that I know to give away some big cars and big prizes. Tyler, I got enough skills. I can write a play. I can actually produce a show. I ain't mad at not one of you three individuals. I admire you. I continue to grow and believe that anything that I can conceive, I can achieve. And I thank everybody that tuned in today, and I ask you to share and help me to continue to be a positive thinking person. PTP, people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. I love you. And guess what? The family that prays together stays together. Remember that.